Where are you, baby? One of the many purported crybaby bridges is located near Doylestown, Ohio, in an area known to the locals as Rogues Hollow. This bridge, deep in Rogues Hollow, spans Silver Creek. The bridge is only seasonally open to vehicular traffic as it has a history of accidents. The ghost that haunts this bridge is the most celebrated in Wayne County. What was on the site before the bridge has yet to be discovered, but the Chidester grist mill built in 1824 still remains adjacent. The haunting of the bridge began before its completion when one of the men building the bridge fell to his death at sunset when the rays of the setting sun momentarily blinded him, causing a misstep off the construction. This was just 13 days before the birth of his daughter Amy. Shortly after the death, co-workers on the site reported the sound of a man crying "Help me" or "Amy" at sunset each day. Some workers said it was just the sound of the heavy wooden beams creaking as they settled during the construction. After the bridge was completed, there were strange reports where horses refused to cross, and birds were never seen resting on the bridge. Even dogs became upset and would put their tail between their legs when required to cross. Locals suggested the bridge had an electrical current that surrounded it, and that is why animals stayed away. Legends continued to be added as the years passed. In 1950, a local unwed farm girl gave birth to a baby on September 28th. Her parents were killed in a barn fire 2 days later, leaving her alone to care for the baby. 13 days later, Friday, October 13th, 1950, she walked halfway across the bridge and tossed her infant child into the creek below. Several weeks later, her body was found hanging from an apple tree in the nearby orchard. The following October 13th, travelers who crossed the bridge reported hearing a baby crying when they crossed. The crying was loud enough to be heard across the neighboring fields and through the woods. People who regularly pass over the bridge often see a woman standing beside the railing looking into the water below. Many have reported that the woman has turned to them as they passed and said, "I killed my baby," and the unmistakable sound of a baby crying can be heard. As the years have passed, more people have reported a woman dressed entirely in white walking on the water near the bridge shouting, "Where are you, baby?" The best opportunity to see the apparition of Crybaby Bridge is 2 hours after dark on a crescent moon. Put your car keys on the hood of your car, step to the rail in the center of the bridge and shout, "Where are you, baby?" Some people hear the baby cry in response. Some see a ghost in white float above the water. No one has ever been harmed, but many people report strange occurrences where their car won't start, the headlights won't come on, or they can't find the keys left on the car's hood. These are the encounters on Crybaby Bridge. We are lucky we escaped the bridge. When I was a sophomore in high school, I played on the soccer team. And every fall, our team would go on a skills and team building campout. It wasn't really camping. We didn't pitch tents or anything. We stayed in small cabins of 4 and had a mess hall where the camp staff cooked our meals. During the day, we had sports coaches running drills, motivational speakers, and team building games. It was a ton of fun and really brought the team together. It was only for 5 days, but it was awesome. We were up at 7:30 and free at 8 each evening to play cards or sit around a campfire and sing songs, which was great fun. But on our last night, my cabin mates and I decided to do our own thing. There was a stream down the hill from the camp, and we decided to go down there and explore. We had heard that an old wooden bridge dating back to the last century crossed the stream, but we were forbidden to go there. The property belonged to a neighboring farm, and we were told on the first day that the bridge wasn't safe, and that the neighboring farmer was old and not welcoming to people from the camp. So please stay away for our safety, and to not disturb the old man. However, we were 16-year-olds, and bending the rules was part of the game. The stream was only 10 minutes from camp and easy to find. We followed a hidden trail just off the soccer field, so others had gone there before us. What real harm could it cause? When we reached the stream, it was wider than expected but easily wadable. The bottom was sand and gravel at only ankle deep. We walked in the water with our tennis shoes on. With the moon up, it was no problem to see, and the early October temperature was still warm and comfortable. We didn't go far, just around the bend in the stream, and there was the bridge. It was old, but we could see it was still in use because the dirt road was not grassy at all. It was wide enough for a car easily. The four of us splashed our way to the bridge to check it out. We climbed the bank, walked on the wooden planks, and threw some rocks into the stream below. We were having a blast when we saw headlights coming around a bend in the road toward the bridge. We scrambled back down the embankment and hid under the bridge. A pickup truck rolled slowly over the creaking boards and passed down the dirt road without stopping. The four of us sat on the base of the bridge abutment, tossing stones and laughing about our tale of hiding under the bridge from the grumpy old farmer. But this is when our chilling nightmare began. We didn't hear the pickup returning. It was just on the bridge above us. We could hear the low rumble of its engine moving slowly, much slower than before. Then, at the midpoint, it stopped. We were laughing, but not anymore. All we could hear was the engine and the water gurgling at our feet. Then, to our horror, the truck door squeaked open, followed by the loud thump of hunting boots stepping onto the wooden planks. And, in the dark, a loud, gruff voice. "I know you're here. You can't hide from me." The four of us huddled, shivering in fear, not daring to speak. Again, he yelled, "You can't hide from me. I'll find you and squish you like bugs." A flashlight beam hit the water and swept across the stream looking for us. His footsteps thumped the wood as he paced back and forth. The squeak of the door told us he was getting back into his truck. Everything went silent, but we were too petrified to move. After 5 minutes, we stood in the water and nodded to each other to creep slowly without splashing. We moved in unison, inching from under the bridge to the stream embankment, and crawled carefully on hands and knees. When we reached the top where the woods began, I looked back and saw a battered Dodge Ram 4x4, and in the driver's seat was the farmer with an evil grin watching us. I screamed to the three ahead of me, "Run!" We ran into the woods as fast as we could, and before the truck was out of sight, I turned and saw the man walking in our direction. He had something in his hand that I could not determine, but it seemed to be a club. We ran until we were unseen and dropped under a bush to hide. We lay there silently, listening with every sinew of our body. After 20 minutes and nothing, we crept out and moved silently back to camp. That night we confessed to the camp director what we had done, thinking it was necessary to report the farmer. He said he would make a report with the police, so there would be a record, but it was private property, so there probably was little else they would do. He informed us that he asked everyone to stay away from the bridge because he knew the farmer had previous arrests for violent behavior in town and had spent time in a mental health institution. We are lucky we escaped the bridge. It's possible he would have killed us if he had captured us. The legend of the paranormal Goat Man's Bridge has been handed down through the generations, with few variations. It is Texas's most active supernatural location. The legend of Texas's most haunted bridge concerns an apparition that appears as half man and half goat. He is seen roaming the gloomy creek bed beneath Old Alton Bridge, manifesting the tortured soul of goat farmer Oscar Washburn. This most widely known legend claims that an African-American farmer named Oscar Washburn and his family raised a goat herd on their farmstead adjacent to the bridge. Washburn was renowned for high-quality meat, milk, cheeses, and hides. But one night a group of Ku Klux Klansmen premeditated his murder after the well-known farmer proudly displayed a sign on the Alton Bridge declaring, "This way to the Goat Man." A lynch mob of Ku Klux Klan members burst into Washburn's farmhouse on a stormy night in the late 1930s, dragging the frightened Goat Man to their noose on the bridge. They knotted the rope around the pleading Washburn's neck and brutally hurled him over the edge. But when the night riders went down to the edge of the dark river to witness the results of their heinous deed, they were astonished to find the noose inexplicably dangling empty over the tranquil water. The furious Klansmen frantically searched the water without success. The Goat Man had disappeared. Angered, they proceeded to Washburn's home and immediately burned it, with the Goat Man's family shrieking inside. Washburn is believed to have vanished forever, but his soul has not moved on. A vengeful ghost has since been observed haunting the old Alton Bridge. According to local lore, if you ring a bell at the bridge 3 times at midnight, or alternatively, if you turn off your car's lights and honk 3 times as a summons, you risk an appearance from the vengeful Goat Man. You will know he is coming because he will be preceded by the stench of decaying flesh in the air. Many reports describe eerie glimpses of a monstrous snarling goat-headed man-beast stomping in the shadows of the woods, with demonic glowing eyes that burn red from the darkness, or a horrifying apparition of a maniacal satyr grasping the heads of goats or humans in his hands. The horrific encounters and reported abductions have occurred throughout history, to spawn a multitude of chilling paranormal nightmares.